How about somebody had stolen identity in the Bible? Would that be better? Kind of give you more like you feel like you're more part of a church. Okay. So anyways, I don't want to be religious, but I do like to go to the owner's manual for information in Revelation. So if I pointed out somebody that had their identity stolen in the Bible that totally had an experience like this 14-year-old kid, it would pretty much seal the deal, right? And if Jesus was involved in the program of getting this person freed, then it makes it all viable because, like I told that lady, I'm not following somebody that never rose from the dead. Who I follow rose from the dead. There's more proof about Jesus. Common sense. If you just want, you can't deny the Bible's truth. If you really study it, I mean, you can say it's not true. But if you study the Bible, there's no way you can deny the truth of this word. There's no way. That'd make God a liar. So I love common sense. So I thought, well, let's go to a simple teaching. But if I can prove to you in the Bible about identity theft and it's fixed and you can do it, no matter what the problem is. Now listen, you may not have any issues. You may just, man, I'm just glad to have an audience full of people that are totally freed. That's awesome. But we don't have it. So let's go over here. Just kidding. You're all getting there. And I'm working on myself. So, okay. In Luke 8, verse 26. I'll kind of walk you through this thing. And we're going to get up here because of time. But let's just start. I guess we can start at 27. As Jesus was climbing out of the boat. Okay, Jesus is going across to do the most amazing deliverance and healing in the Bible, as far as I'm concerned. It's just wild. Because the enemy is trying, prior to him, a few chapters up, a few scriptures up, the enemy's trying to stop Jesus and the disciples from going to one of the things that were going to make the book exciting. Because to me, this paints a picture of someone who lost their identity and gets their identity back. And your identity may not be the same as him. But anyways, we better read because you're all trying to read ahead of me, so just hang on. So, as Jesus was climbing out of the boat, a man who was possessed by demons, which I think you could use the word possessed there because Jesus wasn't the Lord of his life, and possession means total ownership. So a Christian cannot be possessed. A Christian cannot be possessed. They can be demonized, but cannot be possessed, because once you receive Jesus Christ as Lord, then you have the Holy Spirit in you. So you can't say, oh, yeah, that guy in the church, he's possessed. No, not if he knows Jesus. He's just like you. He needs to get freed. So anyways, here we go. So here we go. They met a man that was possessed by demons that came out to meet Jesus, right? So he came out to meet him. For a long time, he had been homeless and naked and living in the cemeteries outside the town. So first of all, the guy, he's a homeless guy. Obviously has an issue wearing clothes. It's a little perverted. And he's hanging out in the wrong place. I mean, I don't know. I've prayed for lots of people that hung out in cemeteries. Not a good place to hang out. I'm just telling you. If you think what's hanging out in cemeteries, you would understand you are who you hang with. So that's why a lot of people say this guy's got some issues. So as soon as he saw Jesus, he shrieked. He fell down in front of him, and then he screamed, "Why are you interfering with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God?" Isn't it interesting how fast this man knows it's Jesus? But it's really not the man, it's the spirit in the man. The demonic spirit recognized. It's the demonic spirit that's operating here. Because they can use your vocal box too to talk. Your spirit gets to use it, and it can be shared by things that are not of you. Okay? So, please, I beg you, don't torture me. For Jesus had already commanded the evil spirit to leave. So don't give up when you're praying for somebody to get delivered and unclean spirit doesn't come out right away, because the King of Kings already called out the unclean spirit in this guy, and it was arguing with the King of Kings. They're stubborn, they're tenacious, and I want to explain more. But listen, they're into identity theft. It's not the man, it's what's in the man that stole his identity, that made him naked, made him homeless, and made him hang out with the dead. You just read, no common sense, you hang with the... Okay, so, all right, so here we go. This had taken control of the man. Even when he was placed under guard, they put chains and shackles on him, and he simply broke them. Rushed out into the wilderness and completely under demonic powers. Okay? So, Jesus demanded, "What is your name?" He said, "Legion." He replied, and he was filled with many demons. Then the demons kept begging Jesus not to send them into the bottomless pit. So I'm going to stop there and give you a little synopsis, and we're going to get to the part where he said. So this guy right here is not doing real good, is he? He's a pervert. He's into exposure. Whatever, he was a stripper. So anyways, he's got a lot of fear. He's got a lot of fear. It's not him. It's what's in him has the fear. That's talking out to Jesus. It's the fear. Okay? He's got rage, anger, self-destruction. He's the first cutter. He was always cutting himself with rocks. If you go over to Matthew and Mark, you'll find he's a cutter. He was one of the first cutters that probably ever in the Bible. But he's cutting himself because he had self-hatred, self-mutilation. That's what that spirit is. And it's rooted in huge rejection. Okay? So, here we go. So, he's got all that going on. He's got mental illness, depression, hopelessness. All this stuff, someone stole this man's identity. But listen, when the King of Kings, and he said, I want you to do what I'm doing. Jesus said, if you're a follower of me, that's what God said in his word. Jesus said, if you're going to follow me, I give you the authority. Go do this. Go do what I'm getting ready to do. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to tell you. But you know what? The one you're fighting against is pretty smart. I think most demons are smarter than most people. I'm not belittling you, but demons have been around 6,000 years. And how long you all been around? They're smart. They get it. They know your stuff you like and the stuff you don't like. And they know how to trick you, they know how to work your emotions. Look at what these demons do. There's a lesson here. There happened to be a large group of pigs. In the book of Mark, it says in the same story, there was 2,000 pigs not far away. And the demons are saying, don't send us to the abyss. Which Jesus can't send them there either. We don't have no business. If you ever see anybody calling demons out of people and sending them to the pit, they're out of order. There's an appointed time to send them. Jesus didn't even send them to the pit. I'll challenge anybody on that. So, anyways, these unclean spirits are inside this man that is labeled schizophrenia, maniac, dangerous person. The demons see the pigs. The demons are so smart, they know if they're not going to want to go to hell, which he wasn't going to send them there anyway, but they can't get released from their territory. So the unclean spirits trying to talk to the King of Kings say, hey, send the legion, that's the name demon, the main demon, says, send us into the pigs. So that means that those spirits inside that man could see out of his eyes, they could see the pigs. Does that make sense? Because your spirit right now is looking out of your eyes. Your spirit, I hope it's your spirit looking out of your eyes, okay? Okay, we're okay. So, but those spirits were looking out of that man's eyes, which I've prayed for people and watched their eyes change right in front of me. And it's kind of really interesting. I can tell you lots of stories, but we're not there right now. But they could see, and they said, send us into the pigs. So, Jesus gives them authority, the word says. He gave them permission for the demons to come out of the man and enter the pigs. That's in verse 33. So, demons aren't smart, but that tells you something. That's how you get deviled ham. So, the demons knew that if there's like 2 to 3 demons inside each pig, that's all it took to drive that big fat pig they drove those pigs into the lake to drown them, because once the pigs are dead, the spirits can come out. They can't stay in dead bodies. Human or animals, they come out and they look to torment. They didn't want to leave their area. Prove it to me, I will. So, the cool part of the story is, after Jesus calls them out to go in the pigs, here's the man that was totally wrecked with perversion, exposure. He had lots of fear, anxiety, anger, rage, self-destruction, mental illness, depression. Who knows what else? But that's kind of labeled here. If you go down to verse 35, people rushed to see what had happened. A crowd soon gathered around Jesus. Then they saw the man that had been filled with demons. Here's your key. After surgery, spiritual surgery, he was sitting at Jesus' feet, fully clothed, praise God, and perfectly sane. And they were all afraid. And that part, all afraid, if you go up to the next, I probably didn't give it to you, but in verse 37, it said that the people begged Jesus to leave because there was a huge wave of fear came over them. What would that be? all those demons that came out of all them pigs, they go, this is our territory. We'll work through the ignorant people. Leave, Jesus, leave. Why am I saying that? I don't know. Leave, Jesus, I don't know. It's the demons encouraging them to say that. And unclean spirits have encouraged you to say things that you shouldn't say.
That's right.
Some people don't want to admit that. I'll ask your spouse. So, you understand? That's a great deliverance. The same guy that had his identity stolen for whatever matters. I don't know if it was something his parents did or he did, but created his image, his identity was wrecked. And they labeled him a crazy man. And Jesus does spiritual surgery. And he said, you go do it.